The accusation. The chamber stretched vast and circular, its walls shimmering with bioluminescent patterns that pulsed in rhythm with the voices of 1,000 species. Ambassador Sarah Chen stood at the center platform, her dark suit a stark contrast against the iridescent floor beneath her boots. Beside her, military advisor Marcus Webb kept his hands clasped behind his back, his posture military perfect despite the weight of countless alien eyes upon them. Above them, the intergalactic tribunal occupied tiered seats that spiraled upward like an amphitheater designed by beings who understood geometry humans had yet to name. The air hummed with translation fields, converting the chittering humming and resonating voices of hundreds of delegates into comprehensible speech. High Chancellor Vaughn of the Zeltharan Concordat rose from his elevated seat. His crystalline body refracted light into rainbow patterns across the chamber walls. When he spoke, his voice carried the weight of 10,000 years of galactic authority. Let the record show that humanity stands accused before this tribunal, Vaughn announced. The charges are grave: violation of the sacred combat accords, deployment of forbidden weapons, execution of warfare tactics classified as crimes against civilization itself. Sarah felt Marcus tense beside her, but she remained perfectly still. They had expected this. Earth's military victory against the Vryn Empire 3 months ago had sent shockwaves through galactic society. What humanity had considered a defensive triumph, the galaxy viewed as barbarism. A holographic display materialized above the platform, showing the Battle of Souls edge in painful detail. Vryn warships breaking apart under kinetic bombardment, electromagnetic pulses cascading through their fleet, human fighters swarming like insects, ignoring every established rule of engagement. "Observe," declared Ambassador Thex of the Vryn Empire, his segmented body rigid with rage. His species resembled Earth's mantises, but scaled to horrifying proportions. These humans were presented with the traditional challenge. We followed every protocol established by the Accords. We positioned our fleet in the ceremonial formation. We awaited their response with honor. The hologram shifted, showing Vryn ships arranged in perfect geometric patterns, their weapons powered down to minimum yield as the Accords required. It was beautiful in its symmetry, like a dance choreographed across the void. And how did humanity respond? Thex's voice dripped with venom. They attacked without declaration. They struck from multiple vectors simultaneously. They used weapons banned for 6 millennia. They showed no mercy, no honor, no respect for the traditions that have kept our galaxy civilized. Murmurs rippled through the assembled delegates. Sarah could feel their judgment pressing down like physical weight. To these beings, Earth had committed an unforgivable sin. Chancellor Vaughn's form pulsed deep blue. The sacred combat accords were established after the Great Burning, when unrestrained warfare nearly destroyed all sentient life in this galaxy. Every species that joins our community agrees to these terms. Warfare, when it cannot be avoided, must be conducted with restraint. Casualties must be minimized. Weapons of mass destruction must be forbidden. Combat must follow established protocols that allow for negotiation and surrender. He turned his faceted gaze toward Sarah. Yet Earth's forces ignored all of this. Ambassador Chen, do you deny that your species deployed kinetic weapons at relativistic speeds? Do you deny using electromagnetic warfare that permanently damaged Vryn navigation systems? Do you deny that you attacked before formal combat procedures were initiated? Sarah stepped forward, her voice calm and clear. We deny nothing, Chancellor. Every action you describe is accurate. Gasps echoed through the chamber. Several delegates began speaking at once, their translation fields overlapping into incomprehensible noise. Silence. Vaughn commanded and the chamber obeyed. You admit to these violations? We admit to defending our home system using the most effective means available, Sarah replied. But violations? No, Chancellor. You cannot violate agreements you never made. The chamber fell utterly silent. Even the bioluminescent walls seemed to dim. Ambassador Korith of the Nexian Assembly, a floating mass of tentacles surrounded by a shimmer of energy, spoke with obvious confusion. Impossible. All spacefaring species accept the sacred combat accords upon achieving faster-than-light travel. It is the foundation of interstellar law. Without it, there is only chaos. Marcus stepped forward now, and Sarah noticed the slight smile playing at the corner of his mouth. It was the expression he wore when he knew something his opponent did not. Ambassador Korath, when exactly did Earth sign these accords? Marcus asked, his tone conversational. Korath's energy field flickered. Upon your species' first contact with the galactic community, naturally. Our first contact was the Vryn invasion fleet entering our solar system, Marcus replied. They didn't come to exchange diplomatic pleasantries. They came with demands for submission and warships to enforce those demands. Nobody handed us a rulebook. Chancellor Vaughn's crystalline structure darkened. The accords are not optional. They are the price of civilization. Without them, warfare becomes effective? Sarah interjected quietly. The word hung in the air like a grenade, with the pin pulled. Thex rose to his full height, his blade-like forearms clicking together in agitation. You dare mock the principles that have preserved billions of lives? The accords ensure that conflicts are resolved with minimal bloodshed, that honor is maintained, that the strong do not simply annihilate the weak. Sarah met his multifaceted eyes without flinching. Ambassador Thex, your empire entered our system with 73 warships. You broadcast a challenge we didn't understand. You assumed we would fight according to rules we had never heard of. And when we didn't, when we fought the only way we knew how, you suffered losses and now cry to this tribunal about unfairness. She gestured to the holographic display still floating above them. You call your way honorable. You call it civilized. But from where I stand, it looks like something else entirely, Marcus added, his smile widening slightly. It looks like a game where everyone knows the rules, where battles last for months but change nothing, where the powerful stay powerful and the weak stay weak because nobody is allowed to actually win. Chancellor Vaughn's form flared bright red. You speak of concepts you do not understand. War without limits leads to extinction. We learned this lesson in Blood and Fire. The accords were written to ensure it never happens again. Sarah nodded slowly. I understand your history, Chancellor. I respect it. But humanity has a different history. We spent 12,000 years fighting each other on our homeworld. We developed warfare into an art and a science. We wrote books about strategy that you've never read because your species forgot what real war looks like centuries ago. She paused, letting her words settle over the chamber like snow. The Vryn came to conquer Earth. They expected us to play your game, to follow your rules, to accept defeat gracefully when we couldn't match their technology within your artificial constraints. But we didn't come to the stars to lose, Chancellor. We came to survive. Marcus's smile was fully visible now. And that's why we wrote our own rules. The tribunal chamber erupted into chaos.